Hey guys, this is Blake with Blake&Tinkscale. Right now, we're with our client Lawson Moore. And Lawson, can you share a little bit about your company and what you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. So we own a pressure washing company based out of South Carolina. And so basically we do any kind of exterior cleaning, whether that's house washing, driveway cleaning, roofs, windows, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that's a little bit about what we do.
Sweet, sweet. And could you tell us a little bit more about where you were at in terms of growth, or if you guys kind of hit a peak in terms of growth and keeping your schedule busy?
You talking about before the ads?
Yeah, yeah, like before the ads.
Yeah, so basically I started this in high school around 2023. And so everything was word of mouth. I had done a local magazine around here, and it brought me a few customers, but it was um, nothing remotely close to what y'all have done so far.
Okay.
Nice, nice.
Have you tried paid ads before us?
So no, not at all. Basically, it was just like little sponsorships and stuff, at baseball parks, for just stuff around my community. And so, I mean, some of the stuff worked. It got my name out there, but I've never done any paid ads before, y'all.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. Did you feel before working with us that the main, pretty much the only way to grow was through organic marketing, like you said, magazines or, just word of mouth?
So once I started, taking pressure washing seriously, basically what I did was I've made good friends with local competitors, and so I kind of started talking to them a little bit about what they do, and none of them do any kind of paid advertisement. Um, they all just do word of mouth, but they've been around for 30 years, and so I mean they've got that time over my head versus me. I've been in business for 3 years to date, so I mean it's it's definitely been more word of mouth for them than me. So
Would you say that, when you're competing against people that are, or businesses that have been there for 30 years and you've only been there for three, does it give you leverage over them because now you have something that they don't?
absolutely, I'm reaching people that maybe they've reached before, and weren't able to withhold that customer and keep them on their schedule because of not having the you know technology to do so. Whether it's sometimes people fall off a book. I know me personally, it's hard to keep track of 600 or 700 people when you're just doing everything off of a book. And so I mean, with Go High Level and all the CRM that comes with the subscription that y'all offer, it really helps a lot as far as keeping track of everything and keeping your business organized.
No, absolutely. And, also, I think it would be fair to say, and you could, agree with me on this, I believe, that you have to almost have a brand already for word of mouth to work, right? So that's why they're
Absolutely.
able to do that when they have 30 years plus of experience compared to you. You don't necessarily have a brand yet. So paid marketing actually gets you out there to the homeowners.
Yeah. So fortunately enough for me, um, I was just a big hustler when I first started, and so I mean, I didn't have any money when I started, and so that just gave me even more reason to go out there and get it. And so I built a really good name for myself around here. And so all I'm doing now is just reaching out more and more. But this is saving me not only time but money as well because this is I don't have to go talk to all these people. Y'all are essentially doing that for me. Um, and
Nice.
I'm one to keep things on a personal scale, and I want to shake everybody's hand. But when you think of scaling and growth as a whole, you have to adapt a little bit. So,
Absolutely. And, in today's times, door to door and flyers, would you say that that's more saturated than paid ads now?
oh my gosh, yeah, 100%. Especially in my area. So I actually did that. I was doing door to door. Um, I did that. That was very short lived, just because of the time that you put into it versus the outcome. I knew there was always a more efficient way to do that. And then the flyers, I got door hangers, and I went around putting those out and talking to people and doing that. But it was never it was never really worth my time. Essentially, I mean, yeah, I could pick up $1,000 if I put a whole day into it. But I mean, that's a whole day that I could have been working, you know?
Because then you're trading your time for money rather than spending a little bit of money to give you your time to actually put in the business to make you even more money.
Absolutely. I mean, me being 20 years old, I have time on my side, but I got a lot of big plans, and so to utilize those things, I have to either adapt, and I can either make more money or keep doing what I was doing, and the progress that I saw from that just wasn't where I wanted to be.
Absolutely. So, like, with
Nice.
the results you've seen so far, where would you say that you see yourself in the next 6 to 12 months with the company and, with our paid ads that we've been running for you?
So first month of the paid ads, basically the hardest the hardest thing for me was adjusting my schedule, because you go from maybe 2 to 3 calls a day to 7 to 10 at leads a day. And so I mean that's a drastic difference, especially when you're targeting different counties and stuff. So I mean there's places that we target specifically that are an hour away, and so I mean you have to really strategically plan your schedule. But that's all a part of adapting and learning with everything. But as far as where do I see myself in 6 to 12 months, I easily doubling my revenue at least. Um, for the
Absolutely.
just for the base pay that you start paying for ads, which is $30 a day. I mean, that's the easily going to double that. So I mean, we've gotten
Absolutely.
120 leads in 1 month, so that's pretty
That's
astronomical.
wonderful. That's awesome. And like, would you say that, for pressure washing business owners that are maybe starting out or they are having trouble like keeping their calendar books, that investing into paid ads with the right agency or with, an agency that knows what they're doing is worth it?
Absolutely. And not only pressure wash companies, man. Any company that is service based, I think needs to be with paid ads, because if you're serious about growing your business, obviously you got your weekend warriors, your guys that are doing it as a side hustle, and I mean those guys are they're making good money. But if you want to grow your business and truly scale, paid ads are the way to go.
Awesome. No, that's great to hear. What would you say to anyone that's on the fence about working with Blake&Tinkscale?
Anything that people are on the fence about, one thing that I was on the fence about is giving these people your money. So it's like it's a trust factor um, that you have to overcome. But with scaling and growing a business, any business, you have to take immense risk. And this was one of those risks. And so I kind of woke up one day and I came across their ad. And so what I did was I signed up for a call with them, and I got on a call and immediately, was bombarded by trust. And now I trust these people, and I'm not a guy that trusts everybody. And so I took a risk with them, and it's paid off tenfold. So, I mean, anybody that's on the fence about it, I mean, I would truly, truly recommend. You can give me a call personally, or you can call them anytime. That's one of the beautiful things about them is, they're 24/7 communication. I can call these boys anytime I want to, and they will pick up the phone.
Perfect. I
Yeah.
appreciate that, man. And any, final thoughts that you'd like to tell like the viewers, people watching this?
Yeah, man. I mean, any reason why anybody is like thinking twice or kind of holding back, it's like just go all in, man. One of my good mentors told me, if you don't start, you'll never finish. And so if you don't ever start and start taking risks and start, the mentality of I'm going to grow, I'm going to scale, you're going to fail doing that as well. I mean, there's going to be a lot of failure that comes with that. And so I mean, if you just never do it, then you'll never know where you'll be. So just jump out there and do it,
Absolutely.
man.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
we appreciate your time, Lawson, and we hope that
Absolutely.
you have a good rest of your day. Keep crushing it with the jobs, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good
Yes,
one.
sir. You take care.